Alright guys, everybody ready?
Yes.
Yep.
So, then let's start your engines in 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, let's
Good luck.
get it. So immediately we have a tricky first airwalk, and it looks like we do see a miss from Diddy, but the other players are neck and neck, pretty much. We have a slight lead from Brynu, just this ever so slight lead. Dark Spots is very close though, with Perskai being like, I want to say like 2 seconds behind, maybe like 1.5. And then Didi, of course, missed the first airwalk, so it's a bit rough. Also, he's going to have to do a backup here. He did not have enough height to get back in bounds, so he's going to have to get a backup airwalk, but he gets it perfectly. That airwalk is so hard to get. I hate it.
Yeah, and he just casually gets it. Really nice from him.
Exactly. Luckily, everybody's on advanced hold. Something to consider. Oh, never mind. Apparently, Diddy is not.
Oh no.
So something to consider in this game is you actually finish the game with manual aim for the purpose of aiming precisely at the final boss's wings. So when you restart a run, you have to change back to advanced hold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna have a rough time. So you just need to reset. Obviously, we cannot reset here because it is a marathon and a race as well. So another setback for Didi is just very unfortunate, but he can still make it up. You know, a lot of things can happen. It's a race. The category has a lot of room for error as well. There's a lot of tricky stuff. We're coming up on Vilcabamba Warp for Brynu and Dark Spots, with, again, Perskai being like 2 to 3 seconds behind, pretty close. And this is going to be, if you've never seen this, they're going to drop at a very specific location out of bounds into a checkpoint that is invisible. Now, this checkpoint is going to warp us way far ahead, because for some reason, this is the checkpoint for the next area, but it extends all the way here. So you can just access it by dropping into this very precise location. And so far, everybody's got it. And it looks like Didi gets it as well. Very nice. Everybody got Vilcabamba Warp. That is huge. Missing that is quite the setback.
That's true. There's a backup strat you can do, however, only if you get inbounds. If you fall out of bounds all the way down, then I think it sets you a long distance back. So that's quite a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty huge, especially if you're already a bit behind in a race.
Yeah.
Kind of a detriment.
Here
we're looking to like not gain too much height, but just enough to get out of bounds so that we can get back in the hallway, which we just saw from every player so far. Actually, this is very nicely done on the height management by them. Looks like Didi's going to get it as well. Very nice. What did you want to say, Kai?
If we want to explain the technique behind the airwalk itself, because right now we're seeing the runners just airwalking through the air, and perhaps it makes, if we want to explain the technique behind it as well.
Okay, so just very simply and very briefly, if you've never seen an airwalk, this is, you're looking for a specific vault animation, and you, right before touching the ledge, you just equip your weapons, and voila, you can walk on air.
Yeah,
this is essentially flying, and you can use this to get pretty much anywhere, and you can lose or gain height by interacting with the environment, just, you know, going into different kinds of geometry. In the meantime, we just saw Qualipec skip from 3 runners so far. Didi is on his way to complete it as well, and he did it. Very nice. Qualipec can be tricky as well. You have the getting out of bounds part, which you actually have to be a bit patient for. If you go too fast, you will not get it. Then there's the jump back in bounds, which again is requires a good timing and good positioning. Otherwise, Lara just kind of gets stuck. And you can also, if you misaim it, you trigger the boulder, which is not triggering the boulder is the entire purpose of the skip. So if you trigger the boulder, you're just dead and you have to reload checkpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the meantime, got some nice QTEs.
The first one in the game.
First one indeed. And we're already out of Peru. Can you guys believe that? 5.5 minutes in.
Crazy.
Now,
Too
already we're going to keep breaking the game by just slipping past this wall that just, you know, under the balcony has absolutely no collision, which is just, you know, just as you do. Then we're going to slip past this gate. You can saw it on Brianu's screen already. Nothing too complicated about this, really. You just have to know where to get out of bounds, and then you just go around, jump back in bounds behind the gate, and then walk into it to load the area, and then make your way down the stairs. Now we're going to see Folly Skip, which is one of the trickiest to learn, but once you do learn it, it's not that bad, but it does lose quite a bit of time if you mess it up. Now Brianu is going to get it first try, it seems. Dark Spots is going to miss it, so
Oh no!
big setback for him.
Oh man.
Now we have First Guy going for it, and Diddy right behind him.
Ooh.
Actually, he's made up quite a bit of his time. First Guy is going for the safe way, while Diddy is going for the quote-unquote YOLO way, but it took him a second, so they still have like this 2-second difference kind of going on. They're very close to each other though, and it looks like Darkspot's missed it again, so he's actually fallen to last place.
I'm sorry.
Brianu just got the Coliseum cutscene skip. That is absolutely ridiculous. This doesn't even save like too much time. What, it's like 1 second, maybe 2 seconds at most. Because the cutscene that you're skipping would actually warp you forward anyways. So it's not really a big skip. It's not very significant. Definitely not something you would even reset over if you don't get it. But coming up for Brianu is something that you would actually reset over if you do not get it. And that is going to be this spiral staircase.
Just get out of
Fall damage cancel, and very nicely done by him. Dark Spots did actually get the Folly skip just now in the meantime, so he is on his way as well. Perskai and Didi are basically neck and neck. Still just like a 1 to 2 second difference between them. It's extremely close. Brianu is quite a bit ahead, but again, still anything can happen.
Yep.
While Dark Spots is on his way to the Coliseum. Now we're going to see just a little nudge back in bounds, and then all the way back out of bounds again from Brianu. It's done very nicely. And this just loads this cistern area, and then you want to go right back out of bounds just to avoid having to do any of it.
Same
And
thing
then, yes, exactly, same thing coming up for Perskai and Didi.
Man.
And once you get this, the next thing you have to do is once again get out of bounds and then make your way to the Centaur's boss fight. Dark Spots got the fall damage cancel as well,
Very
and
nice.
now he's going to try to get out of Midas. Now, funnily enough, Midas is actually, I want to say, one of the longest levels in the game if you do it properly, but it's kind of a joke in glitched categories.
Reiner now coming up to a boss fight.
Exactly, but he does have to do a QTE first, but
Yep.
it's not like they're too hard.
That's true.
If you are nervous, you can misclick though, and in this game, unlike in Tomb Raider Legend, if you click the button too early, it's going to give you a fail even if you press the correct button. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah, mashing is not allowed. It's just not gonna work.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You can do it in Legend, not in this game. So it looks like we have a pretty optimal Centaur so far from Brinu. This is another crucial point in the run actually, because you can get that RNG here with the way Centaurs spawn. And if you get really unlucky, they spawn in such a way that you cannot even damage them for a while or at all. In which case you either lose a bit of time or can even result in you having to reset your run. So definitely not something we want to see in the race for anyone. But it looks like we got pretty acceptable spawns for everyone so far. And Brinu has already finished the Centaurs.
Crazy. Really nice.
And we're already in Egypt for Brinu. Darkspots is about to enter the QT as well. In the meantime, Perskai and Diddy are still on the boss fight, but it looks like Diddy is actually going to finish first. Oh, never mind, he still has one more. Oh, again, they have like 1 second difference. Oh, but he did finish it first. Diddy did the optimal way of finishing the boss fight, so he's got a little bit of a lead.
It's very tight.
It is very tight. It's so like it's ridiculous how close Perskai and Diddy are right now. Darkspot's still on the boss fight, but you know, not that far behind. Like I want to say like maybe half a minute at max, which is, you know, still pretty close. Then we have Brinu, who just currently did like the Egypt skip, which just skips over like pretty much 2 levels, like 2 entire levels. You go from the beginning of the first Egypt level all the way to the beginning of the 3rd Egypt level. And it looks like he managed to pull it off completely. He's making his way to the Sphinx. And Didi just got the skip as well. I mean, in the meantime, Perskai actually messed it up, so it's a little bit of an opportunity for Darkspots to catch up if he messes it up again. But it looks like he got it this time, or at least the beginning.
Got it. Nice.
Darkspots is getting closer, though. In the meantime, Diddy is 2nd place so far. Brinu is making his way to the water room, which again we do not care about. We're going to get an airwalk, lose some height, and just fly across. Now we're losing height because you cannot
Enter the hallway otherwise.
Yes, you would have to do a fall damage cancel. And if you do a fall damage cancel, you end up at ground level, and there's no other way to get an airwalk in this area. So you would have to do the room intended, which is incredibly slow and incredibly annoying. So we just keep the airwalk and get your way to the final item placements, which open up the gates and the end of the level with that. Diddy is also skipping the water room right now, so he's actually not too far behind from Brinu right now. He's got quite a bit of a gap now from Perskai because of Perskai messing up the Egypt skip. And Darkspots still behind, but you know, just a little bit at a time, catching up actually. The difference between Perskai and Darkspots is getting less and less. So definitely creeping up there. In the meantime, we had a QTE from Brinu. And Didi is about to finish the final Egypt level as well. And we're moving on to Natla's Mines, where we lose all of our guns. Oh no. It looks like we won't be able to get any airwalks for a while.
Oh no, what are we gonna do?
I don't know. If only there was some magical way to get our guns before the devs intended.
Are you spoiling something there?
I am merely making hints.
Right.
So
first
we're
pick
in the
as
final
well.
Egypt QTE for Persky as well. In the meantime, Darkspots is about to finish the final Egypt level in about like 20 seconds as well, I want to say. Or maybe because of the delay, it's more like 10 seconds for you guys. In the meantime, Brainu's going to grab the weapons through the wall first try. It's a bit tricky, but once you get used to it, it's not bad.
Yeah,
Still
basically
mess it.
you can use the grapple hook to extend your range of grabbing weapons, and that way you can grab it through the wall. Very
Exactly. There is a bit more nuance to it, but that's the gist of it. It's pretty cool and convenient skip. I believe it was found by Katarev all the way back a couple years ago. And in the meantime, Brinu picked up another set of pistols, which is going to help in the final boss fight. Not really any other purpose, but it is going to save a lot of time in the final boss fight itself, because we're going to 2-cycle Natla, or 1 cycle if you will. It's the fastest possible way to kill her without going for the QTE that Brinu just skipped. Because normally if you do that QTE, you would have access to Uzis afterwards, and the Uzis are the fastest way of killing the final boss the intended way, let's say, or without any cheats. However, that QTE takes so long, we just don't care. We just grab the magnums and be on our merry way. So we're coming up on vertical room for Brinu,
Very risky.
which is very, very punishing. If you mess up anything here, it's run over. Because not only would the game set you back pretty far normally, however, you have to consider that the checkpoints that the game tells you that you got are actually fake in this room. Because you're entering it in a different way from how you would normally, the game actually gives you fake checkpoints. So if you die here at any point, you are going to get sent back way before this. You're going to get sent back for, I think, before the QTE that got skipped.
You get sent to the entrance of the room, because what you do is you skip the cutscene at the entrance. That's supposed to spawn a bunch of enemies, and if you respawn anywhere in the room and the cutscene hasn't been played yet, it just plays.
Okay, so that's the way people do it nowadays, I suppose.
Yeah. If you don't get any checkpoint and die first, you do is respawn before the QTE is super far back.
Yeah, that's the way it was in the old times, which is what I'm remembering. But yeah, you have this other checkpoint as well now, I guess, but it's still insanely far back, and under normal circumstances, it still means your run is over. So currently, Brinu finished the vertical room, and Didi's about to finish it in, I want to say, 15 seconds, maybe 10. Persky just started it not too long ago.
Yeah,
and
he's coming for the inbounds part.
Darkspots is about to start it as well. Once again, Persky and Darkspots not too far off. And then we have Diddy and Brinu being a bit closer to each other as well, but Brinu definitely has a very significant lead. He's already in the final level. He's on the torso. And guys, this is an insane pace, especially for a race.
Yeah,
Still
if you
sub
start with
20
a fight
RCA.
torso,
And exactly like Kai is saying, we're not going to be fighting torso, we're actually going to skip them. And a fun little fact that has been brought to my attention the last time I watched a marathon is that the last two boss fights in Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider Anniversary are actually reversed in terms of speedrunning. In Tomb Raider 1, you fight torso and skip Natla. In Tomb Raider Anniversary, you skip torso and fight Natla, which I just thought was a pretty funny, like, ironic little thing. So we pretty much skipped torso by deloading the area where the boss fight is, and then lowering our height using airwalk, and then we just basically clip through the platform itself that the boss fight would be on, and that allows us to just bypass the entire boss fight and make our way to the final hallways of the game. And Brinu is already coming up to the Natla boss fight. He's going to have to switch combat modes here to manual. Like I said at the beginning of the run, he's going to want to aim at Natla's wings precisely because there is a targeter on her body as well, but it does not take any damage. And also in this first phase, you're looking to destroy her wings because that's what triggers a cutscene. In the meantime, Darkspots just started torso skip, first guy just finished it, and Diddy is on his way to Natla as well.
Yep, coming to the final fall damage cancel as well. But all in all, we can still say that the runners are all still very close to each other.
Yes, it's crazy. Like, even with some of the mistakes, like, these are all still good runs.
Absolutely.
These are like... I don't think I could beat these, like any of them. And it looks like Brinu is doing a little bit of Alt F4ing. I'm not sure if he's just doing it for the memes, but yeah, he's definitely doing it for the memes. He's contemplating just exiting the game on the final QTE. So he's pretty much won already, unless he somehow messes up the QTE.
And don't talk too soon.
And there's two more inputs. One of them is already done. Needs one more. In the meantime, Diddy is also about to finish in a few seconds, actually. This is so close. This is so damn close.
Yep, here we go for Diddy.
Yeah, so Diddy is entering the QTE. In the meantime, Brinu is already done, and I'm going to say time when he gets the final results screen. So, time for Brinu. Now Diddy has to deal with the final QTE. In the meantime, Persky and Darkspots are still in the actual boss fight itself. Darkspots just finished the first phase of it, and Persky is about to finish the second phase. It sounds like he did mess something up though. He ran out of ammo. That is not what you want to see. You have to do an entire
I needed
cycle
exactly
like that.
one bullet more.
Yes.
This never happens to me.
It's rough. And it looks like everybody finished the boss fight itself.
Really nice.
Diddy has clocked in as well. He's finished the QTEs as well, and that's going to be time for Diddy right now. And we have Darkpots and Persky, like, what, 5 or 10 seconds different?
Yeah, almost tied.
It's so close. Like, guys, this is ridiculous.
Coming down to the final QTE.
Yeah, there's not really any way to save time in the QTEs besides one input that you can press a little bit before the game intends you to, but everybody knows about it, everybody goes for it, so it's not really something you can do to gain advantage. It's more like something you do to keep up the pace.
And they did it.
And they have, and that is time. GG's, everyone. That was so damn close. 24 minutes RTA, even for the last person. That is crazy. I would not beat that even in my dreams.
That's actually close.
It was so close.
It was close, yeah, Brinu.
The whole time.
Like,
Oh.
Brinu, you were ahead by a bit, especially after like the first few levels. But Diddy was actually catching up a bit.
Yeah.
He was only like half a minute behind at one point. So you got first place, Diddy got second place. Then we had Persky and Darkspots had like a 10 to 5 second difference for like most of the race past Folly. And then they ended up having like what 3 seconds difference on the final timer.